You guys asked and I'm delivering. I've got a deep dive here on how to connect batteries in conjunction with your solar to power and offset electricity costs from your full-size whole home air conditioner. It's now easier than ever to let the power of the sun eradicate your electrical bill for your air conditioner. And you guys really won't want to miss this one because I've got a 48-volt battery hooked up this time. For those of you that haven't seen the previous 2 videos about this, let me give you the quick condensed excerpts from those. It works. I can't believe it. Look at this. We've got 1.2 amps power coming in from the solar straight into the air conditioner. So I've just turned my old dumb air conditioner into a solar powered air conditioner. So here's what we're going to test today. I've got 400 watts of solar for testing. Those come over here, and I've got this excess N-phase solar inverter. This is the N-phase IQ8 Plus micro-inverter, and then we've got that feeding into the air conditioner here. Can I use the contactor on the air conditioner to vary when this inverter sees grid power, so that when the air conditioner turns on, this in turn sees the grid and starts generating power from solar, offsetting the load of the air conditioner, but not running any risk of backfeeding to the grid. Okay everyone, check it out. Pretty much at peak, the shadow behind the solar panels is basically straight behind them. So let's see what kind of power we're getting here. Oh, heck yeah, look at that. 4.9 amps. The star of the show is this guy right here. This is a micro-inverter from Hoymiles. However, the awesome thing about this is that you can connect up to 4 solar panels to 1 micro-inverter. So yeah, I just need to add a few more panels. That inverter will be plenty good. Just a couple more panels. I'll have this 100% offset. So today, I'm going to be focusing a little bit more on how to connect batteries to this system, so that way the solar is always generating power, even when the air conditioner is off, dumping power into those batteries that can be used later when it's cloudy or at night. A lot of you had questions from that about this on my original video, so that's why we're going to be focusing on that today. You guys may also be interested in looking at my lawn care videos, because as you can see, the lawn is off to an absolutely fantastic start this year. All right, let's get into this. Just to issue a disclaimer here that before attempting to do any of this, you should get a licensed electrician to assist you. We're dealing with dangerous high voltage electricity that can cause personal injury or death and property damage. You also need to consult your local area to see if you're able to do this or not. And then the other thing I need to ask, it's sad but true, a whole bunch of you leave the video right at the very beginning. So if you're one of those people, before you go, please give the video a like, subscribe, and I'd love to hear a comment from you. 3 100% free things for you to do, but benefit the channel tremendously. If you're one of the people that stay until the end, I want to say a big thank you to you for doing that, and you're welcome to wait to like and subscribe and comment till the end if you so desire. But these videos are 100% me devoting my time and effort to help you, and the only compensation that I get is your likes and subscribes and comments. So please do that. I would really appreciate it. Okay, I'm going to assume that you already have the microinverter and you already have solar panels, because just getting that and connecting the solar panels directly to the microinverter is going to be your most cost-effective, quickest way to get this setup up and running. Now, if you want to take it to the next level, there's varying degrees of doing that with these batteries. I'm going to show you the most basic entry level one, and then I'm going to show you the most advanced one. So what we've got here is just 2 12-volt, you can see that right there, 12-volt lithium iron phosphate batteries connected in series, so you'll need a little bit of battery cable here. We need to have correct voltage. So if you look here on this multimeter, you can see that we've got 27 volts. That's important. Why? Well, if you look here on the back of the microinverter, you'll see that we need at least 22 volts to start this generating power. And then we need a voltage range of 16 to 60 volts DC. So 27 is going to be enough to meet the startup voltage requirement for this, so that this microinverter will start converting that power to AC power. Next, you will need a solar battery charge controller. This basically just acts as a switch. It monitors the voltage of the batteries, and so if you get a day where it's cool, maybe your air conditioner isn't running as much, and you've got bright sun like today, and the panels are just cranking, your batteries are fully charged, this will shut the flow of power off to your batteries. That way they don't overcharge. That's the purpose of the charge controller, is to protect your batteries. If you have room in your batteries, or let's say that all the power is being consumed by the air conditioner, it won't hurt this. This will just pass power through until it senses that the voltage of the batteries is to a point that it needs to shut off. But critical piece of equipment, you cannot attach solar panels directly to your batteries. That would be a bad thing. So you need a charge controller. There are 2 places for power to come in and out of the charge controller. This one right here with these PV wires are the wires that will go, and you can see they've got MC4 connectors on them. They will go and the solar panel will connect to them. Let's go ahead and do that right now. I had to use 2 hands, but you can see my positive and my negative. There's my negative, going to the negative of this first solar panel, and there's my positive going to the positive. Okay, next, coming out of the charge controller, we have the leads that go to the batteries. Now notice here, let's just use this white lead for a minute. Notice that it's coming from the charge controller to this WIGO connector. I would highly recommend maybe upsizing the wire. Okay, I didn't have a bunch of wire kicking around here. This is for demonstration and testing, but I would definitely upsize the wire a little bit. But the white wire from the charge controller is coming here. It's the far left connector. We have another white wire here in the middle, and it's coming to this wire right here. This is my positive lead, and it's going to connect to the positive on the battery. So let's go ahead and do that next. That takes care of that middle wire. I'm going to come back to this red wire here momentarily. I need to connect the negative to the battery. So we have a repeat of what's happening here on the positive, here with the negative, okay? One of the negative wires comes to the charge controller. That's the far left one. The middle one is coming to this bare wire right here, and that's going to connect into the negative of the battery. Okay, so now that brings us to these chubby wires here. These are PV wires, and that's because I need an MC4 connector. So you can see here's the red wire right here, and it has an MC4 on the end, and the negative has one as well. But these are not the ones going directly to the PV input. This is coming from the batteries, right? This is how the inverter is going to get its power. So we are going to connect these MC4 connectors up to that inverter. Sorry, I need two hands. That's why I have to keep putting you guys down. But so we've got these. Let's just follow this red cable right here, okay? Comes over and plugs into one of those inputs on the Hoymiles Micro-Inverter. Nothing else is plugged in. I just want to show you how the batteries work here. You can see we are flashing a green light. I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not. So that means we are now officially outputting power. Let's go see how much. Okay, so we got our setup over there. We've got a cable that runs through here, into here, and again, watch the other video to see how this is all hooked up. But now this is AC electricity coming in. We've got this wire clamped here, and you can see that we're putting in 1.6 amps of power. That's at 240 volts. So if we just do some simple math, 1.6 times 240, we're pushing in 384 watts. Okay, so this is the most basic setup. Regardless, you need a charge controller for each bank of batteries. So this is the most basic, minimum 24 volt setup, okay? Now, you're going to potentially generate a little more heat and what have you just because of the lower voltage. So let me kind of show you the ultimate, and that would be a 48 volt battery setup. All right, and here's the full setup. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 12 volt batteries, all connected in series. So there's a cable there, there's a cable here, and then you can see one more cable back here. This is our main negative right here, and our main positive is right there. I've got that lead for my multimeter on it. So let's go ahead and put that lead on. This is lithium iron phosphate. You can see that we're 52.8 volts. This charge controller is adjustable in voltage, so it's compatible with 24 volt, 36, and 48. I would recommend just going straight to 48 if you're not going to do the 24. You could do 36, I guess, but I think 48 is definitely the way to go. Gives you a lot more compatibility with a lot of other things. Let's go take an amp reading. All right, we're connected here on the air conditioner, and look at that, 1.9 amps is now what we're getting. I'm going to have links to everything down in the description below, the microinverter, the charge controller, some batteries. I'm in the process of testing this one, but I'm really digging what this one has to offer. This is from Redodio, and if you look, it is a 165 amp hour battery, but it's the same size as these other ones. So you get 160% more than what those two batteries are, because they're just standard 100 amp hour batteries. So you can really get some nice energy density going with this this battery here. I'll leave a link for it down in the description below. So now the idea is you could replicate this times 4. 4 banks of 48 volt batteries, 4 charge controllers. So that way each bank of batteries and each charge controller go into one of the inputs on the microinverter. And then each solar panel, or if you wanted to over panel it, you could easily do 2 solar panels into one charge controller, especially at 48 volts. That's probably what I would do, is I'd double my solar, put 2 panels in each charge controller. That way, on a bright sunny day when the air conditioner is running, as you saw in my previous video, basically the solar would take care of all the consumption, and then one of the additional panels will go to recharging the battery. And that way you'd basically have, you know, the batteries completely full by the time the sun goes down, and then you can draw off of those, and then the next day you can easily hopefully get all the way back up fully charged for the day ahead. Because the inverter shuts off and on with the air conditioner, the batteries really help add a nice buffer so that you're not losing out on any of the solar power being produced during the day. So anyway, I think it's a really easy and fairly inexpensive way as far as, you know, solar systems go to really make a positive impact on your energy. Like I said, check out the previous video that has a really in-depth dive in how this all works and how it all connects back to that air conditioner. You guys may also be interested in checking out these stands for these solar panels. I'll put a link for those down in the description. Super handy, easy to deploy, fast, sturdy. They adjust really, really awesome. They're from Powered Portable Solar. Question I got in the last video is what kind of solar panels these are. These are Aptus 370 watt bifacial panels. I'll put a larger blown up image on the screen of the data tag here on them. This video came as a result of you guys requesting more information and asking great questions in the comments. I do read them and I try to respond to them, and sometimes it spurs on additional content with stuff that it appears is valuable to you guys. So keep it coming. I love hearing from you. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Do those 4 things for me. I would really appreciate it. Let me know what other testing questions you guys have. We'll catch y'all next time.